How do you know that?
How do you know that?
How'd you know that?
Shock the nation, bud.
It's pre-game number one.
Pre-game number one.
Yeah, so I just thought this would be a cool thing to do to, I guess, just show folks how we're getting ready for our podcast and stuff like that. And kind of see some of the research and what we talk about, where we get our info. Today, most of the info that I could find on what we're going to talk about with the Insane Clown Posse, I couldn't find FBI gang lists or anything, so I had to go to Wikipedia, and even then, I can't find it. I found some info from some articles, and I'm just kind of going off of that. So, it'll be something, I guess, in this pod, if people know more than we do, to shoot something in the comments, because kind of a little unclear on some of this stuff. So, so just to kind of give you a little history, Jesse, on it is, I'll turn my music off here. So ICP, I know you don't really listen to them, but me and your old man used to listen to them back in the early 2000s, late 90s. And we actually went and saw them once at a concert, so it was a good time. But, hey, and that reminds me, I got to grab something. You're going to love it.
All right.
So this is just for ICP right here, man. Little Faygo. So you don't even know the story on that.
Wow.
So at their concerts, and in a bunch of their songs, they talk about drinking Faygo. So it's a Detroit pop. It's made in Detroit. And so at their concerts, dude, they cover the ceilings, the walls, and the floors with plastic. And they're launching 2 liters, like they shake them just right, and they've got like those little trampoline things on the edge of their stage. At least they did back in the day, and they'd throw it down, and that thing would just shoot like a rocket.
Yeah.
And you just get drenched. And then they got like 55-gallon barrels of Faygo and these big hoses, and they're just drenching it with Faygo pop. I mean, that's just what they do. I mean, that's just part of their concert, right? And it's just a big mosh pit. I mean, dude, they're crazy. I mean, I don't know if you've seen them, right?
Yeah, I've seen
Insane Clown Posse. Yeah. So, but anyway, so, we've been to their concert. We've listened to their music. I kind of quit listening. I know I listened to them pretty hard and steady for about 10 years, and then I kind of went away. So they had a thing they call them the Joker's cards, right? So they said after the 6th Joker's card, the truth would be revealed. So they had these albums, and each album was a Joker's card. And at the end of the 6th Joker's card, they revealed like all this stuff was about following God. I mean, you should follow God. And their stories were, they're horror stories, right? Their videos and their songs are about gore and killing people and stuff like that. But anyway, their followers, they call them juggalos. And so, they've got songs, what is a juggalo? And then in all their songs, they talk about the juggalos. And there were some crimes and murders and stuff that happened, and these people said they were juggalos.
Yeah.
So they got on the FBI gang list. And I think it was quite a while before the band, Insane Clown Posse, even knew that happened. And they're like, we're not a gang. I mean, there's no gang. It's just what we call the people who listen to our music. They're juggalos. So anyway, they're on this list. this gang list, and people start getting treated wrong. I mean, if they had a ICP sticker on their car, they were getting pulled over and their cars would get searched. They were showing on the video that I watched, some guy was trying to re-up in the military, and because he had a tattoo, an Insane Clown Posse tattoo, they wouldn't re-up him because they said, hey, you're part of a gang, we can't re-up you.
Yeah.
So it was just stuff like that, right? I mean, so they fought it, went to court. It got overturned once, and then it got held again. So they are still on the list, the last that I saw. So I just want to show you the only thing that I can see is what I see, right? So apparently they are still on the gang list as a hybrid gang. And this is back in 2017. So I tried to find a hybrid gang list, FBI list. I couldn't find anything. So I'm going to go with they're still on the gang list until I hear different. Can tell me something different, but I couldn't find anything saying that they're not on the gang list. And so, yeah, some juggalos, I mean, they're crazy, dude. There's the band, there's the two dudes, and then people just dress up crazy at their concerts. I mean, yeah, it's like a freak show. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, you probably see why I didn't listen to him.
I don't know why, Jesse.
Why
It's
would you
good
dress
music.
like that?
I don't know. And, you know, and I don't know. Just because you can, right?
Good music.
Some of it is good music, and some of them are really catchy tunes. And again, their songs are a story; they tell a story. So, I listened to it, and it was a story, and some of the stuff is very catchy, and you just kind of, And I'm kind of a rap dude anyway, so I mean, I was kind of like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot like. You got Slipknot from Iowa. I can't remember what they call their followers. They have a term too. But it's the same kind of thing, right? I mean, it's just a gimmick. And they've got followers, and they're just called juggalos, and somehow they ended up on the FBI gang list. So, yeah. I thought we'd talk about that. So then, for our FNDT, we can talk about, I guess Neil might have been right, but maybe not. I don't know. So they came out with a report on
maggots.
Friday. The maggots. There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Slipknot.
The
They're maggots.
followers are maggots.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah. So to their point, when they were talking about being on that gang list, so when people commit murders and stuff like that, and if they watched a Stephen King movie or read a Stephen King book, should all those people be on a gang? I mean, should there be a Stephen King gang?
Well, the difference is though that you're not looking at with the Stephen King thing. He's not telling people he's not inciting violence in his movies, right? So,
well, sure he is. I mean, that's the whole movie. The movie is about gore and killing and doing things like that.
Keep in mind that there's a lot of, like, for instance, like there's a lot of rappers that talk about how the studios, the people that own the studios, also have big shares in prisons. That's why they tell these rappers to go through and, hey, I want you to talk about murder, drugs.
Right.
So it incites young kids to do those things, and they can make more money in the prison stock shares.
Sure. Yeah, we talked about that in our last episode, right? So
So when you're a band and you're telling all these young kids, you're talking about murder and all, and I understand at the end of their saga they talk about going to God, but imagine just being a young kid and you don't get that far with them. You're just listening to the part where they're talking about axe murdering people. Well, yeah, I mean,
but here's what I will tell you though is the demographics of them versus what you're talking about. Young kids aren't listening to ICP. It's old dudes like me. It's people your age. There is a difference. they're not a popular band. They're not. They're kind of a cult following. They're not played on the radio. They don't get a lot of hits on YouTube and stuff like that. So they've got a small base of
I
fans.
bet they got a lot of following on YouTube.
I don't know, man. Not like if you pick what I would consider a crappy rapper who I would never hear of, like 69, right? I'll bet you he's got way more followers than ICP.
Boogie Woogie Woo has 16 million views, 21 million views, 7.6 million views, 27 million views, 1.9 million views. They got a following. 4.8 million views.
How many does 69 have? I'll bet you he's double.
Who's 69?
He's some crazy dude that's got a tattoo 69 on his head, and I think he's a white guy.
I think I know what you're talking about. He's a Mexican guy.
Is he Mexican? Okay.
He's the guy that snitched on everybody when he got arrested.
And he's terrible. I mean, he's not a good rapper, and he doesn't get radio play, but for whatever reason, he's way more popular.
Well, because he signed a deal with a radio, or not a radio, a network of guys that make records. I mean, that's why he's famous. And, I don't know if you noticed the newer generation, they don't really care if the lyrics even mean anything. As long as there's a good beat, that's all they give a shit about.
Sure. So anyway, I thought we'd talk a little bit about them, and then I kind of want to give a little history on ICP, how they started and where they came from. And I mean, it's pretty interesting who they are.
We can save some of that stuff for the actual.
Yeah, right. So then again, I want on the FNDT talk about how Neil might have been right. So I'm going to share this. So on Friday, they had a dealy bobber out that the aliens were, well, again, they're calling them aliens. The corpses were just dolls. So made up of, some of it was of human bone, some of it was animal bone, and with paper and, modern glue. But I have some questions about all that too.
So they're saying that they were fake.
They're saying they're fake. But here's the kicker that I want to point out though. They put it at the very end. They do all the stuff debunking what was presented to the Mexican Congress. But then it says here, it's not clarified if the dolls found in Peru are related to the bodies presented in Mexico.
Okay, so what? I mean, I don't.
Well, my whole, I guess, my thing on it is, how is it that the findings that they presented to the Mexican Congress, where they talked about the DNA, remember they talked about some of it had 60% reptilian DNA. I gotta assume that they used the skin or whatever was on the outside and tested that. Where are they getting the DNA from? I mean, I would have thought the first thing, if you're testing something, you're testing the outside of it to see what is that? What is that material on, what we would call skin? What is that material? So these guys are saying it was paper and glue and all this stuff. How is it that wasn't discovered earlier? I mean, you see what I'm saying?
I get it. I think some of these platforms are misinformation platforms, right? I mean, you got to keep people off of the trail.
Right. So did whatever these guys test, and again, at the end they say, well, we don't know if those are the same, came from the same place. So if you don't know that they don't come from the same place, how can you instantly say they're all fake? You know what I'm saying? I want the study of the bodies in Mexico. I want to see that. I don't want to see what they got in Peru.
The Japanese,
you know what I mean?
The Japanese scientists did tests on them. They said they're real.
Right. That's what, I don't know. That's what I'm getting at is it's just kind of bullshit, in my opinion. I mean, you're getting two different things. And I want the truth. If they're fake, they're fake. If they're not, they're not. But you get a story like that says, yep, they're fake. Because of this is what they found. But hey, at the very last sentence, but we don't know for sure if those are the same, came from the same place or the same bodies. So there you go.
So it's pretty much a pointless article, is what you're telling me.
Right. But see, everybody's going to pick up on that and go, yep, they're all fake. There you go. Neil was right.
Well, that's what they want.
I know that's what they want. But see, people don't read it, right? They don't read into the article and read what really is trying to go on. But anyway, so that was one thing I kind of want to talk about. And then, so you said you didn't hear about the 10-foot alien in Miami?
I've been looking at it right now. And, of course, the news is trying to say it was like an outbreak of teenagers fighting.
Yep, teenagers. Yep, with fireworks and stuff, right? So there's some weird stuff that happened when that went on.
But when you have an outbreak of teenagers fighting in the mall, why is there hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of police cars?
So they call, So I watched an interview, and again, it wasn't an interview. It was someone putting on TikTok, right? And he's claiming he was a policeman in Miami, and he had a term for it. It's like 3 letters put together. He goes, we call the, and I'm making this up, an ABC, and that means all police available come to that scene instantly. And that's what he said, right? So he said they showed up because all these teens, and there was looting going on and this and that. That they were just there to take care of these teens. But there's some weird things going on. At the exact same time that happened, all air traffic was shut down in Miami. That doesn't happen very often. They don't just say, hey, no planes are flying, no planes are landing. They shut down the airport in Miami. But then on the other side, you have things, and then this goes kind of back to that article. There's a lot of disinformation, right? There's all these people posting shit on there, and they're telling the story about how they were there and they saw the 10-foot alien and this and that. And then at the very end, they go, yep, I just made that all up. You all are a bunch of suckers and blah, blah, blah. So, you got all that stuff going on, right? But here's the deal, and I'm going to show you this. So there is a video, and granted, it is definitely, you got to look at it and go, either I'm a believer or I'm not. But it is a little compelling. So here, it's a phone footage, but look at that shadow up there. That's pretty freaking tall, dude.
I don't even know what I'm looking at. What?
Right here. So
yeah,
you see it. You see its head right there. You see it?
Yep.
I mean, that's very tall. I mean, these are cop cars. There's something weird. Now, that could just be a shadow, an angle. It could be all that is. But I don't know, man. I mean, that's really the biggest compelling footage that I've seen is this. I don't know what that is. So, this could be just a hoax. This could just be, some type of psyop trying to see how the public would react. But one thing when you think about all this, we talk about the other, and it's kind of funny we keep going back to Peru, right? The 10-foot aliens that the face peelers and stuff that they're talking about in Peru. I
don't know that the face peeler thing. when you go back to the guys that were on the Sean Ryan show and that guy that talks about when he was in the service and he went over to that earthquake or tsunami or whatever it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were trafficking people using those craft that, Lockheed, Skunk Works, and all these guys made. How do we know that they're not trafficking people? And it's just humans, because like they say in, what was that movie I just watched? Sound of Freedom. Human trafficking is becoming one of the largest money-making businesses, illegal money-making businesses in the world, right?
Right.
So why? I mean, how do we know that's not it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but why would they try to cut their face off? What would that be about?
How do we know if they're even just trying to cut their face off? What if it's in a way that's
there have been people killed. So there were dudes and people killed there with their face cut. And so the video of the dude that went over there that did the report, he said he showed pictures of people's face cut off and he had them on YouTube, but YouTube pulled the video because it was too graphic. Yeah. So he wouldn't show any more pictures. But he goes, look, I'm telling you, I've seen the pictures of the dead bodies that they were attacked. What if those were the guys shooting at them? And they're just killing those guys. Yeah, I don't know.
And they're taking other people.
Right. But the girl, she said they were gonna cut my face off. I mean, she had, and they showed the 2 cuts that were cauterized at the same time on her neck, and she's like, that's what they were gonna do, and she got away. Bless you. So I don't know. I mean, it's just, and could it be just we're gonna scare people, we're gonna kill some people and cut their faces off and just put the fear in them? But what would be the point of that? I don't know. I mean, if you're just trying to kidnap people, wouldn't you want that to be secretive? You don't want a lot of attention drawn your way. So why would you?
It's a third world country, and they thought they could control the news outlets. So, at the end of the day, most people see something like that happen in a third world country, and they just think, whatever, Right. That's most people. I'm not saying that that's the way I think. I'm just saying that's most people. So, it's not happening here because you can't, then it's going to be a problem.
There's a 10-foot alien in Miami that people are saying that they saw. So,
yeah, but we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. So, and here's the other thing about that, the Miami thing is why, and maybe they have since I've looked, but if there was all those cops, dude, it looked like there was almost 100 cops there, right? There's no body camera footage released of what happened.
Yeah,
why?
That's a problem. But then again, we don't.
And where are the arrests? Where are the arrest reports of all the quote teenagers that were causing problems? Why isn't that being brought out? Saying, well, here's what happened. Here's the teenagers. Now, granted, if they're teenagers, obviously maybe you can't put their names out, but you can at least say 15 teenagers were arrested, during this incident or something, right? That's not being presented. There's nothing. I don't know. Like the bodies in Peru, you've got the media debunking that really quickly, right? They're putting stuff out. You got Neil deGrasse Tyson going, that's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But this thing, where is that side trying to put this story down?
Yeah.
It's not there.
Well, yeah, I get all that, Chad. I get it, but I just like reading some of this stuff. It's
right. And look, I'm not sitting there trying to say that's really what happened. I'm just telling you that's a story. And we didn't talk about it on our last video because I just found out about it that day. So I was late. It was relatively new, and a lot of media wasn't coming out with that. And then boom, it was like that's all I saw was the Miami alien
And you
thing.
can't trust any news outlets anyway. So that's kind of the shitty thing that we've got to deal with is like, who's putting out anything that's reliable evidence? Nobody.
Well, and here's one thing too. The things that we're talking about a lot of the times, they're it's on the fringe, right? It's not things that get reported much. So you have to dig, it's hard to get in the know of some of this stuff because it's not out there for everybody to see. It wasn't on ABC that day. Hey, people said they saw a 10-foot alien. No, it wasn't on there. It was on some, low name media outlet. No one even talked about it. I mean, just because it wasn't big news.
And the problem is, Chad, we need to find like a news outlet that we can trust, like a low guys just coming up, right? They're trying to break the surface of things. We need to find them. That's what we need.
Right. Well, I do know one thing. Even if we find that, there's one thing that we can't talk about.
Which is?
Well, we can't talk about it because they'll take our video down. They won't support us. They won't.
Like YouTube.
So, yeah.
YouTube. What'd we say?
I don't even know.
2 lines about a former president. We only said 2 lines, 2 sentences. I pay for a promotion to put it up on YouTube, and they took it down because it was political misinformation. And nothing I said was misinformation. These were facts. Even the news, the regular news broadcasted it. So it's not like I'm fucking sitting here saying some other bullshit, and they still fucking took it down because of whatever got. I mean, at this point in time, if you're taking down videos because of someone's name was in it, you can just go fuck yourself. That's where I'm at. Fuck you, dude.
Maybe it's not like we're out there promoting crazy BS and shit like that. I mean, when have we gotten to the point where you cannot, if you're on one side of the fence, you cannot put your opinion out there without being backlashed? I mean, if you're on the other side, you can say all you want, and it can be hurtful. It can be substantiated. It can be so false, but it's okay, man, because that's how they feel and that's their opinion.
Here's the thing that's bullshit too, is I paid for the fucking promotion. They promoted it for 1 day, charged me for it, and then took my promotion off and said political misinformation. They go through the fucking video before they promote it. So they went through it, took some of my money, and then said, fuck you, it's political misinformation.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
So I'm done promoting anything on YouTube. I'll upload on it, but I'm gonna move all of our videos to Buzzsprout and have them post it everywhere. And we're gonna be done with promotions on YouTube because that's bullshit. For them to go through and say they went through the video prior to me even promoting it, because they have to. It says it in the thing. You can read it. It says we go through your video before your promotion. That's why it takes 24 hours to do a promotion. So I put it up. 24 hours later, they said we're going to promote it. Come back to me later after they promoted it for 1 day and charge me some of my money, not all of it, but they charge me some of it. Then they come back and say, well, that's political misinformation, so we're taking your promotion off. So basically what that tells me is we knew that you'd said that in the video. We knew we were going to take it away from you. We just wanted to get some of your money and then say, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot, YouTube, rat bastards.
Yeah, YouTube, you guys can go fuck yourself. I want you guys to take your political views, wrap them up in a tight little ball, and I want you to shove it up your ass. That's what I want. Fuck you guys.
Promote.
Yep, I'll promote it. I'll promote it. I don't care. I mean, they're gonna take it off, but
right.
Yeah.
So that was basically all I had. Did you have anything that you wanted to talk about today?
For the upcoming podcast?
Yeah.
No. But I'm sure when we get this uploaded, I'll we'll come up with something else. It'll be in the later part of the podcast. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll pump it. We'll pump it.
So yeah, so hey, you know, just so the people who are watching this, you know, like and subscribe, and then click on the notification thing, right? I would assume there's a notification thing on YouTube for people to
there's notifications
get
and
notified.
Subscribe.
Yep. And then, you know, look for us on other platforms, because it sounds like we're going to be going on other platforms, and maybe we'll promote those once we know what those are, right?
And by the way, we're also on TikTok. So
yeah, go check us out on TikTok.
So look up Shock the Nation podcast on TikTok. We're on there. Look at some of our stuff
and share that shit, right?
Share
it. So I don't know. So that's a little pregame, and I don't know if we think that goes well. We usually have a post game that goes on too. Maybe we can show a little post game stuff. That gets a little crazy though. I don't know. Maybe that's not for people's eyes and views and all that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
So is Sauce Boss there yet?
Yeah, he's right next to me. He's here.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, not a whole hell of a lot. Were you sleeping one off?
Oh no, just hanging out at home.
Right.
Just stressed out with this cold weather.
Did you guys get any snow like you were talking about?
No, it says we might get some today. I don't know. I doubt it.
Dude, I think we got close to 20 inches total.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks. Drifting and blowing. No, I blew myself out last night, yesterday afternoon. Then we drove around a little bit and checked out the town. And we went out to Quick Star, and we were coming back in, and we were, I don't know, over by Grand, at the four-way there by Grand. You could not see downtown. I mean, that's 3 blocks away. You couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It was just blowing so fucking hard.
We'll go ahead and wrap this pregame up.
All right.
And then we'll get into the podcast shortly after we do a couple things. But we'll wrap this up.
All right, folks, hey, remember, email us, stockthenation2023@outlook.com.
Yeah,
Send us some stuff.
Send us some stuff. No dick pics. If you want to send dick pics, you send them to Ross. All right. Thank you, guys.
Let's see you.
You gotta do it. You can't not hit that.